What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Comics Remixed. I'm Junior.
And I'm David Sanchez.
Yep, and we're still us. Thank you for watching. Welcome to episode 23. This is a very special episode to us, as it's pretty much the end of 2012, and we're going to take a look back at some of our some of the biggest news things we've reported over the year, and some of our best experiences as a show for this year. This is the only episode. There's no point 2, so don't worry about that. Yeah, really quick continuity for ourselves. This episode is actually filmed after episode 24. We kind of did them backwards, so bear with us. But it's all good. Ready to start this off, man? Some of the big things from this year.
The big things in nerdom.
Yeah, that we Comics Remix reported this year. You know, they pretty much got the biggest reactions out of us.
One of the latest, obviously, Disney taking over Lucasfilm.
That was a big thing. It was a big mind blowing. People are still happened about what, a month ago now,
yeah,
something like
Disney
that.
owning two of the biggest. They got Lucasfilm and they got Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, that's something big, man. People are, you know, Disney's gonna screw up Star Wars now, and they didn't screw up Marvel. What makes you think they're gonna screw up Star Wars?
It says a lot about this world of ideas that is Disney. They basically ran out of ideas. But what's the next big idea? By the people that have the idea.
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess that's not a bad idea. They still got it going.
It's a lot of ideas.
Yeah, man.
You know, we also had Avengers versus X-Men. That was big this year. Started in April, ended in October. You know, and led into Marvel's relaunch this year, the Marvel Now, which is a relaunch but not a relaunch.
Yeah.
It's a reboot.
Yeah, because, well, one good thing
know.
is they didn't go out and relaunch everybody's origin. And
No, this Marvel Now takes place 6 months later, after AVX.
Exactly, but they didn't relaunch anybody. They didn't. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Even I myself thought it was going to be like 52, another 52.
Kill Cyclops.
But they kept...
Which they didn't. Now he's Racer
How
X.
is he in prison in one issue, and then in the next issue, he's leading a team?
Because he broke out of prison.
Where's that issue?
AVX Consequences number 5.
Do I care enough to read it?
Oh, you know. So, I mean, Marvel this year is big in all terms. DC kept the ball rolling with the New 52, but it was pretty much Marvel who reigned supreme this year. The only big impact I would say that DC had this year was the release of Nolan's final Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, which did tremendously great, and it wasn't a bad movie. Fanboys, stop comparing it to Dark Knight. It's not going to happen. It was Dark Knight.
What's this?
It was just The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Stop comparing it. Everybody knows Heath Slater did the most.
Heath Ledger.
What did I say?
Heath Slater?
Oh, sorry, shit. Heath Slater's a wrestler. Never mind. Heath Ledger. Sorry. No.
Are you sure you weren't thinking about Saved by the Bell, Junior?
Ooh.
Slater.
Oh, no. Heath Slater is a wrestler, dude. Hold on. He looks like the Wendy's girl. Anyway. Heath Ledger. Everybody know he did a great job as the Joker. It's something that will never be repeated probably in our lifetime unless Johnny Depp does it. That's the only person I can think of.
Right. Plus, I think DC really did fumble the ball a lot with a lot of their plot holes that they created from 52. How it's supposed to take, it's only 5 or 6 years from the actual extreme event that occurred, and yet it's hard for readers to really piece in together a lot of these origins.
It is the whole thing is trying to piece where it came from and when it happened and stuff. But you know, like we're saying though, please stop comparing any Batman movie to The Dark Knight, because it's just not going to happen. The Dark Knight to me stands on its own. I don't even consider it part of the actual trilogy. I mean, obviously it is.
Yeah.
But you know, it's its own movie. It's never going to be surpassed. So smart fans went into Dark Knight Rises knowing that it was not going to be better than Dark Knight. You know.
But even going with Marvel's been hitting it out of the park with their movies.
Yes.
They've been just killing it. I'm very interested to see how they're able to translate their ideas into television. Well, which even then is probably not hard to imagine, since it's Josh Whedon on the helm and he did Firefly or Serenity. You know, he has it on that.
Right.
Yeah. If anything, I'm interested in seeing Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3.
But that's next year. I'm talking about this year.
Yeah.
You know, this year I was an avid non-fan, hater, whatever you want to call me, of Amazing Spider-Man until I actually saw it. And I thought it was one of the greatest Marvel movies I've ever seen, especially because I saw it in 3D, and that's a movie that you have to see in 3D, just for the the web swinging scenes. So Marvel knocked it out with Amazing Spider-Man, but of course, this year Marvel's humongous hit and set the bar like super high, the Avengers. You can't exit 2012 without mentioning the Avengers movie.
There's a lot you could say about it, but going back to Amazing Spider-Man, a lot of people have been really pitching that movie to me, and I still haven't even watched it. I haven't. I don't feel like paying for another origin movie. I'll wait till either Netflix or Hulu or it comes out on Redbox or something like that. I heard it has everything that I like about a Spider-Man movie, which the only one that I like was Part 2 that had Doc Ock, and that's because you're fully exploring two characters interacting without having to introduce another villain or another hero.
Right.
And you're fully exploring them in all the spaces, enclosed, outdoors, in moving terrain and all kinds.
Right.
You're really just testing the bounds with them. I don't need to mention Part 3. That was horrible.
What Part 3? Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
Moving
moving on.
Since we're speaking of sad things, it was unfortunate we lost some more legendary creators this year as well, with Joe Kubert passing away. We've also had Mobius, he passed away this year, and Tom DeZuniga, I don't know why the hell I said Tim. Tom DeZuniga, he passed away, creator of Jonah Hex. Everybody knows Joe Kubert, famous for the Kubert family. Mobius, with his works with his overseas work, I guess, and then his collaboration with Stan Lee on the Silver Surfer. So
now, with those quality of artists leaving us, how do you feel about a lot of the newer people that are coming in that are currently operating? Like, how do you feel like do you think the torch is passed on, and to whom? Like, who do you think?
Like
which
our
teams,
generation's legend, or like our generation's Jack Kirby, so to speak.
Who do you think could take over for Joe Kubert, aside from their own kid?
Man, I don't know, because like I said, every artist has its own generation, and every generation has its artist. So, I mean, obviously the beginning was Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, or Jack Kirby, Sal Buscema, John Romita Sr., Mobius, Joe Kubert. I would say our generation's versions of them, hands down, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, of course. Those guys, the ones that are paving the way. You've got some big names that no matter what book they get on, it's more writers now, I noticed, than artists. But you still have those artists that are going to sell books. You've got a lot of new guys as well. Yannick. Carlos Pacheco, George Perez is still a legend.
Hispanics taking more jobs away from white people.
When McFarlane decides to bust out the pencils, he still has it.
Yeah, he does. He does, man.
Liefeld's moving on.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot, but in our generation, it's focusing more on the writers.
Really,
I think so.
Really.
Even though not all the books are top notch.
Not just a week or a couple weeks ago, people were really focused on My Little Pony.
Yes.
What's up with that? What's up with the bronies, man?
September pre-orders for My Little Pony #1, 90,000 plus.
Amazing.
In a bad way.
Still in shock.
I'm
not gonna lie. Look, I watched the show. Sadie and I, we like to watch it before she goes to school, but I don't think I'm attached to it to the point where I'm willing to stand in line and pay so much money for like alternate covers of My Little Pony. I'm okay.
90,000 copies.
How much were the covers going for?
They're $3.99 book.
Yeah, it's just cover price. No.
There was 19 variant covers.
Wow.
There's 19 covers in total. Covers like the first 6 covers, I believe, they were all cover price, and they all connected to make one image. Then they had the retailer covers. We've got a retailer cover.
Is that the one where each cover had a different pony?
Yeah, and then you put them all together.
And the background connected?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So there's that. What that basically means is if that book would have shipped in September as opposed to being distributed or solicited in September, it would have been the #4 highest book of the month.
Jesus.
Only being surpassed by Justice League, Batman, and Avengers vs. X-Men.
Oh my god.
So beating Aquaman, beating Green Lantern, beating Spider-Man, beating the X-Men, beating the actual Avengers books.
Wow.
Something, I know.
That's intense, man. I don't know one book you don't want to discuss. I feel like throwing it in here.
Go ahead, man.
ICP, Insane Clown Posse.
Oh!
This is new. This just happened. It's because it's a shocker. It is. What's going on? Where are the gigolos coming? Who around here is selling Feo that's just starting to attract them?
This whole thing stems off of people coming into the store lately and straight up just being like, you guys don't sell Insane Clown Posse comics? Like, there's a market for that? Whatever. No disrespect to you guys that are ICP fans. To each their own. But as a comic wise, it just, you know, whatever. But other things.
Continuing on disappointments, Rob Liefeld
quitting
DC 4 times in 4 months this year.
Yeah.
Now wait, who is that a disappointment for? Rob Liefeld, DC, or the fans? That's tough.
Nobody,
it's
I
tough
would
to be
think,
honest with.
unless you're a Liefeld fan. And we've said so before. We say it again. We both grew up Liefeld fans. You more than me. We have nothing against the guy. We want him on the show, Rob. We want you on the show. It's just there are so many fans out there who just cannot stand and stomach his work, you know. And sometimes I say, you know, your attitude reflects it. If that were true, then there's a lot of books that I wouldn't read by other creators who shall remain nameless.
Now look, I love this guy for a long time. I even defended him where it was just becoming a crazy revelation that he refused to change his style and everybody just looked the same. I still defended him, but then we go to Wizard World Rosemount, was it a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And we see the Image 7, the original Image 7 panel. And this guy compares himself to Magic Johnson, calling himself the Magic Johnson of comics. And I'm like, okay, Junior, he's crazy. I'm sorry. That's just how I said it.
The man, I stood in line for an hour and the man hooked me up with a dope-ass commission of Thor for free.
Yeah, he got me a cable.
I have to bring that in one day. But, you know, another big news, Neil Gaiman's returning as Sandman next year. What else did we have?
I just have to clap for that.
Yeah, that one deserves an applause. He-Man returned to comics. I remember when we reported that, you were just like, why? But I've been actually reading those issues. They are damn good.
But, I mean, does he look very 80s still? Like,
no. That's the thing. They're taking their time with it. He's not even He-Man. There's been 4 issues out. 4 or 5 issues already. And he has yet to become He-Man. He's still Prince Adam.
That was actually my argument, is if you're going to bring him back, do a proper translation. Don't bring back the bowl haircut and the underwear.
Right.
You know, do a proper translation. He is in the Dark Ages. He's a Dark Age knight.
There's more to it, but you're going to have to read it to find out, man. There's been a lot more.
I really don't want to read it.
There's been a lot of TV shows now dedicated to our hobby. Comic books, toys, things of that nature, which has been really good for the hobby in general. That doesn't necessarily mean the shows were good. You've had Comic Book Guys, which aired a pilot on the Discovery Channel, National Geographic Channel. It was starred basically the cast, or I would say cast, but the workers of Midtown Comics out in New York. You've got Kevin Smith's Comic Book Man that was renewed for a second. It's on its second season currently. I like the second season more than the first. It seems like they were steering away from the whole Pawn Stars aspect of the first season and just kind of coming into their own. Then there was our famous Toy Hunter Collection Intervention episode that we did. Yeah. You know, and that's got a lot of views, so thank you for that. And I'm not even going to waste time getting into it, but I mean, it's just those kinds of shows that are now spotlighting our hobby more. Whether for good or bad, time will tell, but the fact that we can turn the TV on and see something about something we're into is kudos. But speaking of shows, 2012 has been the year of The Walking Dead.
Oh my god, man.
This is Robert Kirkman has owned this year.
I just want zombies to go away for a while.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I'm sick and tired of it. But I mean, you gotta give credit where credit is due. This has been the year of The Walking Dead.
Yep.
The way the second season ended at the beginning of the year, the way the third season started, the wait in the middle, the Walking Dead 100 coming out in comic book. Now they have Walking Dead magazine, the show being released for more seasons, the stars of the show becoming even bigger now. You've got your grandmother coming in now to the comic stores and looking for Walking Dead books. Walking Dead #1 graded a 9.9, sold a month ago for $10,000.
That's crazy, man.
Kudos to the seller. You are awesome. Oh, you are a dumbass fan for buying it, whoever you are.
Damn, man. 10,000?
They're dumb. You know what you can get for $10,000? And that's not even a book that's going to stand the test of time. You can buy at least a 3.0, Amazing Fantasy 15, which it would be smarter to invest in because you know that book has pedigree. You know over time, because Spider-Man stood the test of time, as opposed to The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, like we said, it's been a great year.
You were all up on that Walking Dead, man. You went off, dude. I didn't put one word in there. You're just like, whoa.
Like, I talk for you.
Yeah, man.
But, you know, yeah, like we said, it's been a big year in news. But as far as Comics Remixed ourselves, you know, as a show, it was a hell of a year, man. We started off, what, February?
This is a good year for us as far as growth. We've done a lot with this show that, like pros and cons, like a lot of learning, and at the same time we had a cool guest in our Baltasar. I think we've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun this year. I don't have any complaints really. If anything, I feel better about next year. We're finally gonna have our website up. I hope we get to do a couple more cons, but yeah,
we've got plans. Let's put it
that way. A lot has shown.
We've shown growth
to point to a more positive direction.
Yeah. If you've watched our episodes from the beginning with episode 5, thank you so much. If you've watched from the very beginning by listening to the first 4,
if you've listened since we were on SoundCloud,
that's what I mean. The first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, and thank you so much for that.
Doug.
But over time, yeah, Doug, thank you. We've been, you know, I can look back at our past episodes, and which they say not to do. You don't want to do it. Like, you film it, you're done, move on. You don't want to look back. But it's sometimes you just can't help it. Like, some of our episodes are just very entertaining. I've been getting a lot of compliments about our, like, I could not have done this show without you. Put it that way. Like, I knew, for those that don't know, a quick origin story, Comics Remixed. I used to be into music, so I had equipment. I knew I wanted to do something with comic books as far as media. I just didn't know where I wanted to take it. The only person I thought of was him. This is my childhood buddy. And I says, look, I want to do something with comics, you know, as a show. Let's do a podcast. Let's go for it. We brainstormed over it. We both came up with the title of the show. David designed the logo. And once we decided what we kind of wanted the feel to the show to be, we kind of just went with it.
And as soon as we started doing it, it just became real. You know, it's just very real. Like,
especially when you start getting fans and people come up to you and say, "Hey, I watched your show," or "I listened to your show."
And then after you do your first few interviews, you're like, "Wow, man, this is just something that could happen."
Yeah,
you know, and just how fun everyone is to hang out with,
yeah,
and talk to.
You'd be surprised, you know. And unfortunately, you know, our first con as Comics Remix really didn't go as planned. You know, David was hospitalized for that weekend. We tried to do as much as possible.
Who else?
Who else? But you know what? C2E2 was a lot of fun for what it was as far as how we represented ourselves there. We got our business cards out, our makeshift business cards out, and we had got a lot of fans. So, you know, thank you to everybody who helped us out at C2E2. Fans and pros alike, thank you for all the interviews. And then Wizard World came around, you were there for that, and that was even greater. You know, this has nothing to do with Comics Remix, but I met Stan Lee, so I was just like, oh, high point of my year.
Yeah.
But no,
the guy's ready to die any second now, so that's a really huge deal.
But what we're trying to say is next year we want to deliver more interviews. We want to deliver more laughs, which that's going to happen anyway.
More explosions.
More explosions, more special effects.
More fight scenes.
You know it.
We want the Kool-Aid guy just to bust in at some point. Just like,
we got a lot of things lined up. We've got a lot of ideas on the table. You know, thank you to everybody who's been watching this past year.
Thanks to everybody supporting us.
Yeah. We'll be back definitely next year. It seems like so long away, but it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2013, let's just say that, with Starting Fresh, episode 25, the big silver anniversary, where we've got some ideas on the table, you know. So, you got any closing words for the year, David? For our fans out there?
Peace and love to everyone.
It's always your closing words for anything.
Well, no, and like if I had to pick like final remarks for anything, that would be it.
I'm talking about the show. Keep it in the show.
Keep watching.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
I hear you demanding it. Keep watching or else.
Mother mofos. No. Honestly, in closing, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to everybody supporting. Anybody that contributes to the Facebook page, we hope to carry on with us when we become more social media heavy and have a website going. Thank you to Dan, who's been helping us and introducing us to better ways to edit our show. thanks to John for helping us and supporting us, and just you know, Dave Shimelli for teaching us on the legal side, and both John and Dave for being good friends. Douglas, Doug, Dave, and John, really the three that have been with us for a long time.
Limpy.
And then Limpy, and
Kyle Reeds,
even down on the publisher side, thank you, BDI. Thank you very much
thank
for
you so much,
support.
Big
You guys
Dog
are
Inc.
great. And actually, thanks to BDI for putting out good product.
Yeah,
you know,
seriously.
thanks. You know, I mean, leave it up to the independents to constantly develop good stories.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like I'm accepting an award or something.
No, I'm serious. I'm
But you
serious.
sit there, you're like, I want to give a thank you to.
Well, because when we went very DC heavy in the beginning, and we just ran through Marvel. Even though Marvel's hitting really big this year, it came out swinging.
Yeah.
They're still doing some stupid crap in their comic storylines. Like we just mentioned, last episode that we did is, or I guess the next episode that you're gonna show, or we're talking about their plot hole with time
Episode
travel.
24. Like I said, traveled backwards. Or we
Yeah,
recorded backwards.
see what time traveling does. Stop it, Marvel! Damn it!
I just want to say thank you, obviously, to the fans who've everyone who's liked our page. All 189 likes, I believe. Small number, but it grows compared to. I remember when I'm checking our Facebook, and it's like you have 33 likes. You know.
Yeah. So I could only imagine when we do hit the road, or if we just we're more exposed, then it. So it's a huge positive.
So as far as like talent, I want to give a thank you to, of course, Big Dog Inc. Excuse me, Art Baltazar, for telling us, giving us the green light to go film at his store, and just hanging out with us at the cons, taking his time out of his day to hang out with us here on the show. I want to thank all the artists who've given us interviews: Angel Medina, Jeff Balke. God, there's just so many.
Pat Lee,
Neil Adams, Len Wein. Man, there's just so many, dude. Carlos Pacheco, Yannick Paquet, Daniel Acuna,
everybody, all the guys from Spain,
Paul
Argentina.
Jenkins.
Big love to Spain, Argentina. Everybody.
So thank you to all the professionals. Thank you to Lance Festerman. Thank you to Jerry. What's his last name? Jerry Milani for C2E2 and Wizard World both, letting us in, represent there. Thank you to all the WWE stars and all the pop stars that have let us in.
Especially the divas. Melina, the Bella twins, Maurice,
John Morrison,
not a diva.
Kevin Nash, sexy Kevin Nash. Well, whatever. Just thank you to all the professionals. Thank you to all the fans. Like you said, you named a bunch of fans. Kyle Reeds, Scott Pyburn, thank you very much.
Scott, he's contributed with
Scott,
very much.
Scott Camp. I'm naming all these people that I can, off the top of my head, that I can remember, usually comment so much.
Izzy, the ultimate tech guy who really hulked it out.
Well, he's more of a crew member. Speaking of crew members, also I gotta give my special shout out. Thank you, Dan, so much for helping us with these last few episodes, editing what you can, and showing us that our show could be so much more visually than the way we've been doing it. John for being our assistant, and basically helping us out without any question. We need you to do this. Being our gopher, I guess you could say, but hard work pays off, man, and we've got big plans for you, so thank you. Thank you to your mom as well for baking me those cookies and allowing you to come with us since, you're still a minor, and hang out with the big older guys who pretty much should not be responsible for children. I'm just saying.
My daughter's right there, man.
So Dan, Izzy.
But all in all, we have a great crew going on. Even though a lot of them can only help us on a part-time basis, we understand because our time is what it is as well. But
we try, man.
Just because of what this year was and the plans that we've had, but because of a lot of the positivity, a lot of the positives that have come out, we feel that just a lot of things could happen. Like I've always wanted to do more cons, like in the Midwest and stuff. I feel like a lot more of that could work out.
We've got some plans coming up. We're trying to go back. We will cover C2E2. We will cover Wizard World again. We're also going for
stop. Sorry, guys.
New York ComicCon. I think the biggest thank you I have to give would probably be to Dave Shimelli.
Dave, man.
Dave has helped us so much in terms of what proper steps to take as far as making the show what it is behind the scenes. You know, so thank you so much, Dave.
As far as
for all your help.
when it comes to that attitude and envisioning ourselves as a company in that way, he really did take us under his wing in that sense, and that's very necessary. As an artist, I completely respect that. You know, we had to take our marketing class and professional writing, learn a lot about legal. So for someone to take their time, sit us down, buy us food. So if you want to do it like that again, Dave, that's cool too, man. Next week. But no, seriously, for him to take that kind of time to do that, any artist, any professional should be very appreciative and grateful for something like that. That's very valuable stuff. Yeah,
so Shameli, thank you so much, because on a personal level to me, we've had conversations, and there's times where I've had self-doubt as far as the show goes and where it might go, where it could go, and you basically sat me down and pretty much gave me a map of where the show could lead. So me as a family man, David as well, and the rest of us, you know.
So in closing, I think if anything, what I have to say to publishers out there, the big publishers, to me, they're doing such a great job in dressing up a lot of their work. But in the end, my heart still goes out to the indie who actually puts down something that I'm just willing to read day in and day out.
My advice to the big publishers, take notes from the smaller press guys. You might learn something.
If you really want every single one of your books to possibly become a TV show or something like that, just, stop spreading out your own writers so thin and putting them on 20,000 books. Pony up and hire more writers. Hire as many writers as you're willing to hire illustrators.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this year, man. Comics Remixed 2012. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back 2013, starting with the Silver Anniversary, episode 25. Yeah. So, for Comics Remixed, on behalf of Dave Shameli, John Paparella, Dan Belinsky, and Israel Molina.
Scott Pyburn.
Dan, as well.
Did you mention that?
I said that.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm Junior.
And I'm David Sanchez.
And we'll see you guys next year. Happy holidays, safe holidays. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Have a very good night.